everyone, welcome to the CGC podcast. I'm your moderator for today. My name is Noreen, and with me I have a wonderful panel of speakers before me. To my right I have Aswanddy.
Hi, Noreen.
Hi, good morning, welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you.
And then I have Naza.
Hi.
Hi, welcome to the show. And we have Sofian.
Yeah, hi Noreen.
Hello. And we have Foong Ling.
Morning.
Morning. Okay, how do we feel, everyone? Welcome to the show.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. I think we're a little bit nervous for this morning, but I think that's fine. I think we'll get to it. We'll get there. So for today's topic, we'll be speaking about upskilling and reskilling for the future. But before we dive deeper into the topic for today, jom kita kenali dengan lebih rapat panel kita pada hari ini. So maybe we can share with the audience a little bit about yourselves, a bit about your background, and maybe how long you've been in CGC. Maybe we can start with Aswanddy first.
Okay, thank you, Noreen. Okay, my name Mohammad Aswanddy. I lead the CGC application team development. So I joined CGC around July 2017. So I think it's quite a journey for me from the day one 2017 until today to CGC. There is a lot of transformation happening there during that tenure.
So applications, what does that entail actually, roughly?
It's a system application whereby to support the business needs, whatever the user requests, that generate the revenue to the organization.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Naza, do you want to go next?
Yeah. Hi. My name is Nazarina. I'm leading financing evaluation team. I think I'm the youngest in CGC now because just 9 months with CGC.
You're just born, still a newborn.
Yeah.
Still a baby.
And has been working with FIs for about 20 years, which more focused on the contract financing structure lah. So currently I'm joining CGC as a credit team, which earlier all on business side. That's all.
Great, thank you for that. Sofian, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name is Sofian. So I've joined CGC about a year plus, and I'm doing the IT audit and data analytics. So pretty much I do audits on cybersecurity, on our data, and on our core systems. So I just make sure that everything is running smoothly and as per what it should be lah.
So do you then work closely with Aswanddy in terms of like
He's my enemy.
Okay, so not friends but enemies lah. Okay.
Rivals lah.
Rivals. Okay. DC, keep your friends close and enemies closer. We make a podcast together.
That's why I'm a separator here.
I see. To keep the peace between them two. Okay, I see.
We are always peaceful. I mean, no matter how much we fight in the meetings, after the meeting, we can always go for teh tarik.
Yeah.
Okay, always teh tarik sessions afterwards lah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, thank you, Sofian. Foong Ling, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Foong Ling or Foong Ling. So I've been in CGC for close to 9 years. On 1st October, so I'm actually the head of product development management. So I do products for the company, guarantees products, working with the banks or the financial partners. So this has been my role over the years.
Okay, all right. So you're not rivals with Naza?
No, I need to learn from her actually.
Okay, so we have rivals and then we have friends. A nice collaboration that we have here. Okay, thank you so much for sharing a bit about yourselves. Maybe do you want to share with the audience maybe something that your colleagues may not know about yourselves? Just to kind of, break the ice a little bit more.
Okay, let me start first. So I think I'm quite active during my school and uni lah. So I play quite a lot of sports. So I also have my favorite sport is hockey. So I think during my secondary school I have play with the state team lah. So and then after I think age before 30 I stopped all the games lah.
Okay. Is it because of an injury?
There is some health condition lah.
I see. Okay, so you were an athlete back in your day.
Yes.
Yeah. Reluctantly, yes.
What, state level ke?
Okay lah.
Okay lah. Oh.
Which state?
03 Kelantan lah.
Oh, dia orang Kelantan.
Oh.
Hebat ni, hebat ada apa jago sukan dengan kita sekarang ni kan.
Wakil Kelantan lagi.
Hebat ni. Alright, Nazar, do you want to share? Do you have any stories?
Okay, maybe I can share during my kids, which I'm quite adventurous kids, whereby I like to climb the trees to get all the fruits on the trees. So normally what I did is I climb the trees and sit there about 1 hour just to find fruits and then eat all those
Makan all
trees
the
semua lah
buah
kan.
lah,
Then ada one or two times yang jatuh daripada pokok. It's normal lah. It's normal. Then ada juga one time I broke my arm and my aunties asked me to go to bring me to the hospital lah. So maybe that is the most thing yang I remember until now.
So you are you like to take risk, adventurous.
Risk taker.
Risk taker.
Daredevil lah ni.
You are risk taker and was it pokok durian ke? Tinggi sangat kan
Pokok
durian?
rambutan, pokok mangga, pokok jambu,
Semua ada.
semua ada. Ada one time tu kan mangga tu ada pokok mangga kan ada
Kerengga,
getah kan,
getah, kerengga,
So bila ambil tu habislah muka. Kena getah kan, pergi sekolah semua lain kenapa muka tu?
Kena getah pokok mangga.
Just buat tak tahu je lah.
Wow. So you were adventurous since very young lah.
Dah besar ni tak adalah kot.
Oh tak sangat, dah normal lah sikit lah. Sekarang buah kita beli kat kedai je lah. Tak panjat sendiri dah.
Tapi ada juga I tanam pokok dekat rumah sekarang. Sebab memang suka buah kan. So what to do?
You keep that spirit up.
Yes.
Right, thank you so much for sharing. Sofian, how about you?
Well, I think something that most don't know about me, I like to cook. So I think I'm quite a good cook, but usually I only cook for special occasions like maybe raya. So usually cook for the big guests like 20-30 people, like ayam masak merah, sambal sotong or even lontong.
Okay, you saying all that makes me hungry.
Yeah.
Kan?
So
Yeah,
Boleh
for
minta
lunch.
tak dia buatkan
Itulah bila
untuk
minta
kita?
kita tak.
oh tak. Oh, my specialty Terengganus ayam pecik. Itu recipe from my grandma lah.
I see. So you continue on her heritage and that spirit of cooking.
Yeah.
I see.
When
Great.
can we have the party?
Kalau you invited to my house for raya open house lah. Tapi I tak nak invite lah. Ramai sangat lah
Tak,
nanti dah
so
invite.
Itu semua orang nak
Tak
rasa
apa,
ayam
kita
pecik.
datang je.
Datang je, you tak tahu rumah I kat mana kan.
Okay, so we have an athlete, we have an adventurer, and then we have a chef right here with us. How about you, Foong Ling? Do you want to share something interesting?
About me that people don't know. Actually, I have a fear for height, but then it doesn't stop me to go on adventures. So I have did parasailing. I've climbed Mount KK. So I guess it's just keep the adventurous of myself also keep me going to try out things that although I have fear in it.
Oh, okay, so a kind of like Nazar in that you're adventurous, but you're overcoming that fear of heights.
So
How was yeah?
So you boleh lah pakai. Fear is not a factor for me.
I know. That's why I still have fear factor. I still wear the yellow and the black logo, the shirt there, fear factor.
How was climbing up Mount KK? Was it cold? I hear it's cold at the top.
It was 10 years ago, I would say. So if you ask me today, I may not be that have that capabilities right now compared to 10 years ago when I was younger. So it was a lot of trainings and a lot of endurance. It's a self-motivation. It's a journey, I would say.
Wow, I'm really impressed. So we have a lot of great stories here. It's great to know you guys a bit deeper, and hopefully the audience gets to know the panel a little bit closer. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing. Let's then jump into the topic of today, which is upskilling and reskilling for the future. Actually, what do we actually mean by upskilling and reskilling for the future? What do we mean? What's the definition actually? Aswanddy, do you want to take this? Probably.
Okay. My personal view or understanding, upscaling is you are upgrading yourself from the existing role. So, for example, you are programmer, you are doing the A language, then you upgrade to the another language. So that's for the upscaling. For reskilling, means you learn something new that not in the current job role. So means that if let's say you are admin officer, maybe you need to learn on the other things such as data analytics, digital marketing, that kind of things. So you are moving from your current role to the other roles.
I see. So it's like if you learn a language, you learn basic level Spanish. Upskilling is like having intermediate level.
Yes, you go
And
to
then-
the French or whatever lah.
Okay, and then reskilling is like learning
Totally
another
new.
language, totally new language. Okay, all right. Thank you. I really like. Thank you
Yeah.
for clarifying that. What about real work? Talking about it in the real world, are there some real world examples of upskilling and reskilling?
I will take that. So I think for all of us, right, I think TNV meter reader is a very good example. Last time, when during my younger days, I used to open the door when the meter reader comes so that they can get the accurate reading of my electricity. Right now, I think it's a smart reader. All of our homes are being replaced with smart reader, and they were you can check it online. They don't need people to do it. So what happened to this group of people, the meter reader? So I think TNB have skilled them to do different things. So installation, even other new skill like digitalization, all those. So it doesn't mean that you are no longer required for the job. It doesn't mean you're out of the job. But then you'll be retrained, reskilled to do different job, like gain more value and give the value of business to the employers. So this is real world example that I can think of.
Okay, so the TNB operators,
Meter reader.
Meter
meter
readers, right.
readers, they have to upskill and reskill to cater to the new meters that are not analog anymore, the more digital
correct,
reading, right?
correct. I think most
Ah.
houses are now smart meter already. I don't. We can just check online, just log in.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Thank you for clarifying that. There's a huge emphasis on upskilling and reskilling. How does it relate to kind of probably the previous topic of in our podcast before this, like resilience and adaptability? I'm just
Maybe I'll
curious to-
take that.
Yeah.
So I think the last group was talking about adaptability and flexibility, right? So upskilling and reskilling directly addresses both concerns, because to adapt, you need to be flexible. You need to learn new things, right? Especially when we talk about upskilling, that is being adaptive to the changes where your job requires more from you. And of course, in the case of TNB, they were required to be reskilled. So to adapt to changes, you need to be flexible in the times that are changing. We need to upskill and reskill ourselves. Otherwise, how do we remain relevant, right?
Okay, so then that centers around the central theme of change, because in the previous podcast, change is what triggered people to adapt and be more flexible. So I guess a similar strategy, I guess, to adapting to change is you need to upskill and you need to reskill in order to stay relevant. Yep. I think that's spot on with what you've mentioned before. Talking about change, AI is a huge topic now, right? So how does AI and technology kind of play into that role of change, and how does it relate to upskilling and reskilling?
Okay, maybe I can. Maybe I can relate to the banking industry. So currently, the banking industry's changes are quite quite rough lah. So mostly like people in customer service and also that on data need to change, because now they are using technologies. So everything need to be what you call that
Data analytics.
data analytics lah kan, macam semua need to do it on the system. So having said that pun, soft skills pun important juga, because while machines are doing on the data, the human, what's important in humans is they need to expand the problem solving punya mind, and anything related to the customer which machine tak boleh buat. So kita as a human yang boleh jumpa customer and talk to customer, right? So we have to enhance our skills on that lah. And maybe we can have one also example on the online banking. Online banking kan sekarang on the system semua, they have chatbot, they have also fraud detection. So mana fraud detection tu if let's say any suspicious transaction, they can detect in the system itself instead of humans. But kalau human, it tend to be a mistake, right? So that's important of also the AI and also technology lah, to reduce the mistakes.
So that's a potential future job tau. Jadi
Kan.
fraud detector.
Oh, that's
Yeah, fraud analyst kan.
Cyber security kan.
risk taker.
Yes kan.
Betul.
So then, linking it back, right? So technology is ever changing. Bukan maksudnya kita tak perlu nak upskill because the jobs are there to help us. It's because there are things that the AI and technology can help us with. Because of that, we need to upskill ourselves to support that system.
Yes.
Like you mentioned, facing customers, we can do online transactions now, but we still need good customer service skills, good communication skills, good analytical skills juga. Even though technology is there to support, kan?
Betul.
Okay, alright. And Aswanddy, I just want to hear your thoughts. How important it is for us to adapt seiring dengan perubahan yang berlaku sekarang ni?
Okay, I think on this era, AI and digitalization are new future things. So I mean, even though I'm holding the position of leading the application team, I also might not be relevant for the next 3 to 5 years. So I need to have something new for me to sustain into the industry. So I mean, whatever you have now, even though you are superb now, it's not a guarantee that you can have a same post for the next 3 to 5 years.
That's a really bold statement to say. I like how you mentioned that even though you're in a leadership position now, you yourself mentioned that if you don't upskill and you don't learn, you may not be relevant in the next 3 to 5 years.
Yes.
And I think that's really insightful for everyone that's listening, to always be humble and always learn. So I guess then touching on the topic of continuous learning, how important is it then for us to continuously learn with the ever-changing environment that we have now?
I think that gone are the days where you only look at your KPI for learning, which is 80 hours, which is 5 days a year, and where you pick, okay, maybe I take these 3 days for certain course, another 2 days for another course. I mean, that is for you to meet your KPI, fine. But then, now, you need to really go for courses that are relevant, that are tailor-made for you, because it may not be the same for him, maybe the same for Nazar or for me, because you should know yourself where you stand and where you need to go, right? So you cannot have this or wait for somebody to nominate you for trainings anymore. It should be part of your routine already to look into your own personalized learning. I mean, there's probably one day in the future where you need to learn every day just to keep up.
I like, it's very insightful. Foong, do you want
Maybe
something?
I will add on. I think the LinkedIn learning is a very good tool.
Yeah,
Everyone, you can learn anywhere, anytime at your own convenience. So even whatever skills that you need, you can just learn it on yourself. I think this is what is very important. I think, yeah, I do agree with Sofian. Gone are the days that you still need to fulfill 5 man days for training per year, all those. But we still have mandatory learnings that we still need to do as part of our compliances. I guess learning, it comes from self. I think the pandemic has also is a very good
Wake-up call.
reflection, for all of us, that the 2 years lockdown, the changes that happen rapidly is a learning that we also need to learn during that period.
Okay. Then I guess, thank you for sharing that insight. Then I guess I just want to know, as leaders, how do you then incorporate that spirit of continuous learning within your team?
Yeah. As leaders, I think it's a crucial for the leaders lah to take charge of those things, because it's come from the top level. So what they can do is might be they should have a proper mindset or proper goals or vision for the people, for them to know what's important and what they need to do. The leader should also give good example to the people, So, meaning that they are the one should have all the knowledge before this escalated to the downs to their people lah, so that the people know what to do. And then maybe one of thing is the leader also don't have knowledge of everything. Different people have different knowledge, so they have to open their mind to accept any new maybe new what
New rules.
new
Rules.
knowledge
Knowledge.
from the others, so new
New
ideas
ideas,
from the others, so that
Yeah.
they can move forward on the department. And also they have to have resources so that they can give a training or what
Knowledge sharing.
knowledge
Yeah.
sharing, whatever, so that it can also improve. Ada 6 point, which yang tadi fourth, the fifth point tu rewards. They should rewards whoever can move forward better than the others yang accept to change, whichever who agree to change their mindset and also their self to be in line with whatever goal setting. And lastly is maybe the teamwork. So the leader should allow for collaboration between the people, so that everybody will share all the knowledge, and they can also work together to find a solution for one solution. I think that's the yeah.
Findings are okay. So I like how you mentioned that learning is not a one-way street. It's that you learn from your peers, and your peers learn from you as well. And I like how you mentioned that as leaders, you need to provide the avenue, you need to provide the resources to inculcate this spirit of learning to your team. I guess then my subsequent question then would be, how is it as leaders, how do you balance your day-to-day tasks as well as learning juga, and upskilling? How do you manage that as leaders?
Okay. For myself, yes, we have a limited time on the daily basis to do the BAU things and the e-learning or whatsoever for the upskilling. So I think we have to divide it accordingly lah. So because in order to help you to have the new knowledge, you have to get the pen first. So means that you have to sacrifice of the some of the time and give the ample time to the your staff to have a learning. So that kind of thing you need to arrange it accordingly lah. And then you also need to provide on-job learning also lah to the staff. For example, if let's say they just finish the training, you cannot expect them to have that knowledge immediately. So you have to go with the on-job training to the staff and let them do the error. I mean, not let them to do the error. I mean, there will be some
Let them
error.
learn.
They do the mistakes, and then from the mistake they will do the lesson learn for the next things or project lah. So that's my
Just to add on to Aswanddy's point, even it's possible for the leaders to schedule a time within the week, probably 1 or 2 hours a week, just so that all of the staff have that 1 or 2 hours to do their own learning, or even knowledge sharing, or just for them to go to LinkedIn, to do their online learning, so that yes, they are struggling with their own deadlines. But as leaders, if you, that is how you show support lah, right? I mean, you recognize that they need time, and you give that time slot to them.
With that, when you do that, then you would be seen as leaders who care about your team.
And you walk the
Care-
talk.
Yeah, exactly. You walk the talk. You care about improving. You care about upskilling, not just for your own personal or professional benefit, but learning is knowledge. Knowledge can be applied. There's no such thing as wasted knowledge. So everyone can benefit from something. For example, Aswanddy, you working in applications, can learn from Naza, who's also working in finance and risk. So you guys can learn from each other. And Aswanddy and Sofian, even though you guys are rivals, I'm sure you guys have a lot that you guys learn from each other.
Oh, as auditors, I mean, the expectation is you must know everything.
You have to know everything.
Right. I mean, you are not going to audit just application. You are going to audit security. You are going to audit data centers, servers. And on top of all that, as an IT auditor, on top of knowing just on the systems and on the IT side, you need to know the business side, the operation side, because if you don't even know the business of the company and how the company works, how do you know our systems are meeting the requirements of the users? So
Okay, so like the knowledge then complements each other.
Yes.
Yes.
So knowledge isn't in silo. It's not just you do this, you do this, you do this. But actually kita semua complement each other in order for the whole organisation to be better. I guess then what is the common hurdles and challenges that you guys face in this process of learning or upskilling for your team or for yourselves?
Yes, so I think the first hurdle is ourselves.
Okay.
So every time we will say time is the challenge that we don't have, but it's ourselves who create that hurdle. I will say that if we every day we allocate 20 minutes for learning, I think there's ample time. It's just that 20 minutes that we need to sacrifice from our social media, all those things. I think we will have the time, but we most of the time we rather spend the time to go social media because it's more entertaining rather than learning. And sometimes learning is a bit boring. Let's say you're doing online because it's not that interactive when you have someone talking in front or you have group activities. But then it also allows us to rethink what we are doing. How do we enhance ourselves? The learning shouldn't be just on the job itself, like what Aswanddy mentioned, is upgrading. If let's say it's more on the job to increase your productivity. But it can be reskilling to learn different other things. I could have learned something like on credit side on what Nazar is doing that also can enhance my different thoughts, how things can be better off in different manner.
I think that's a really good point on not just on the job training, but actually just creating time. And we ourselves are the biggest hurdle. And I think that kind of bounces off Aswanddy's point of kind of you just have to make time. Learning is a sacrifice. I mean, I personally know that my experience during uni requires a lot of sacrifice, a lot of long hours at night. So I guess kind of the same principle applies even post student life, I guess, and in work life. Okay.
So it's a good thing that you mentioned about uni. So, I mean, that's our mindset. I mean, we have finished our college, our universities, we've gotten our degrees and all that, and to us, that is a stop. That is one achievement, one milestone of our learning.
We
but,
don't need to learn anymore. But no.
It cannot be like that anymore, right? I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
so you cannot stop learning.
Like
Yeah.
the reality
That's
is
the reality. Yeah.
the reality is it's not just yes you did learn to get a degree, you learn to get a degree, but also actually the knowledge tu you kena belajar and pakai, kena belajar lagi. Banyak lagi benda yang kita tak tahu sebenarnya.
Yeah, because a degree is just on paper. Tapi knowledge tu is on the experience. Even kita dapat degree, yes, that one can be applied to our job or our work done now. Tapi it's still experience is the most important because when we look at the paper macam senang, but actually in life it's a bit hard. We have to study a lot instead of just one straight line. Kita mungkin ada tepi-tepi dia kanan kiri kanan so
Ada selok-belok dia.
Sebab whatever that we learn at the university, only 20-30% apply to the job what we do,
Aswanddy,
do now.
Tapi for IT degree, apa you belajar masa uni, you grad je, obsolete semua.
Normally.
Oh, that's interesting. You mentioned that. Okay, now I kind of want, saja nak tanya, I just want to know actually, what is your own personal journey for your careers that you had to unlearn and relearn balik? You guys mentioned about contohnya IT, for example, kan, what you learn in uni, and then keluar uni, jadi obsolete. So maybe you can share some maybe one or two stories or instances yang you yourself had to struggle or you yourself had to learn balik benda or unlearn things that you learned before in uni.
Okay, maybe this is like a 20 years ago punya story lah.
Okay,
Masa I do my degree, so I think it was my research paper. I did a research paper for network. So it was at that time when I was doing that paper, it was a cutting edge research, still in the research stage. It is for DWDM, dense wavelength division multiplexing. Kita tahulah, kan?
Wow, that's a mouthful. Okay.
Right. So, and I did that in my second year. By the time I graduated, that technology and product is already on the market. So it's very short. I mean, just 2 years. So, and when I went for an interview. I was quite shocked that it was already in the market, and the interviewer was asking me about that product. Nasib lah, ada tahu sikit-sikit boleh goreng lah.
Yeah, yeah.
So lucky you lah, because
lah.
it's,
So I guess then that kind of, thank you for sharing that. It means just to show yang macam actually there's a lot of bukan like gaps between apa yang kita belajar dengan real world application. But it's interesting to see how the lifespan of knowledge is. Like how does it relate then the lifespan of knowledge to, is it like a short?
Short.
It sounds like it's short right now. Like what you learn sekarang relevant for like what, 5 years?
That was 20 years ago.
That was 20 years ago.
I don't think that applies now. Probably what you learn today, tomorrow is obsolete.
Normally, based on the programming language, the lifespan is every 2 years you have to learn something new.
Yeah.
Every 2 years. Wow. Okay, that's why I've heard like people in tech, if you work in tech, for example, Google ke Meta, if you work in tech for about 2 years, it means why you haven't left yet.
Yes.
Is that why?
Yes, because every 2 years there will be a new framework, they call it to the new framework. So you have to adopt to the new framework normally, because whatever that you have now maybe not valid anymore or obsolete next 2 years or 3 years.
Oh, that just shows how crucial it is to continuously learn and continuously upskill and reskill ourselves. I guess then I just want to ask, with regards to CGC and the organization, how do we then cultivate this culture, knowing now that there's a lot of change happening? How do we prepare for that? How do we cultivate a culture of learning to prepare for that?
Pick up. Okay, so I think everyone needs to have an open mindset. I mean, we need to be positive. I mean, change is coming, so you need to embrace it. You cannot run away from it. I mean, as technology improves further, I mean, automation, AI, all this, the company will adapt to those changes. So we as the employees, we need to follow those changes. But where do you want to be? Do you want the company to change and then only you follow, which may be too late, or do you anticipate where the company will go in the future and you prepare yourself much earlier so that you are ready? I mean, take for an instance, probably there's one process right now which probably crosses 3 functions. And in the future, all 3 functions will be automated. So probably the company no longer requires 3 people to do the same function, maybe just 1 person. So that person must know the process of the other 2 functions. And of course, the other 2 maybe need to be reskilled into other job functions. But if you are prepared, you can adapt to anything. Whether the company requires you to stay in that position, but you do not just your job, but 2 other jobs. Or if you are going to be reskilled, you can straight away tell the company, oh, you want to move me to another position? I am ready. I have this skill sets with me already. So
I guess then it's very important that we not only cultivate this culture of learning, not just learning in what our positions are, but also cross-pollinate
yes.
in the department,
Yes.
cross-pollinate learnings between each other. I think we've touched a bit on that earlier. I really like the spirit of continuous learning and the spirit of improving ourselves. I guess then kind of I want to know what would be your advice to people. What's one single advice you would give to people on upskilling and reskilling themselves? How do we upskill and reskill? Or what are your strategies, your best strategies on upskilling or reskilling yourself?
Okay. My suggestion is to once if people need to change with the open mindset, and then you need to take the opportunity when there is a new things you have to learn. So you have to think positively. Don't fear about the mistake or failure. So there will be a on-job training to do that kind of thing, and then just go with it with the new role. So because your role today may be not valid later.
Okay, so it's kind of keep an open mindset and go with the flow and take the challenge head on.
Yes.
Okay. How about you, Nazar?
I agree with Aswanddy. which we as what
Kita as
Employees.
employees as an employees
Uh.
have to enhance our knowledge every day, because the knowledge itself is not stopped on the day. Every day we have to learn, because every day they will change a thing. So that's why everything when we want to do something, we have to also do some research. That is also on the learning stage. So to gain our knowledge on what happens in the market, what happens in the FIs as a whole, because we are in a banking industry, right? So for me, memang learning tu is
Wajib lah.
wajib.
Wajib, and you need to know your market, you need to know your competitors.
Yes.
And also, whilst doing that, keep an open mindset
Yes.
and keep a positive attitude juga. Okay, I
Just
like
to
that.
add on one more thing, I mean
Sure.
AI and data analytic is a future trend. So
Right.
they will create another job or role for that. So I think whatever the existing role should grab that opportunity to learn.
Itu
To
semua,
enhance, kan?
prepare yourselves for the future punya job.
Yeah. Belajar advanced Excel dengan Power BI.
Advanced Excel and Power BI, okay? I'm thinking about this for myself as well. Thank you so much.
Alright.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, Sofian, how about you? What's
I
your
think
tips?
summarizing both points, I mean, at the end of the day, our career is our own. Yes, the management, the leadership should have all those infrastructures, those support in place. But at the end of the day, it's your life, it's your career, it's your job. So, would you put your life in other people's hands, or are you going to take charge of your own career? So, right? I mean, the ball should be in your court, not in other people's court.
I really like that. It kind of resonates with what, personally, what my father always says to me and my sister. Choose your future before your future chooses you.
Right.
Essentially. So then that relates to, I have a degree in psychology. I'm currently working in learning and development. Kind of not really, not to say
Not
it
really.
doesn't apply, but because I've had experience in doing mentorships, teaching, so I can apply that and upskill myself in those areas. Also, applying my education in psychology into this new field. So similar to kind of what you said, in that kita kena perbaiki diri, and kita kena prepare ourselves, and we need to make our career as our own. Because if we don't take charge, who will? Nanti kita akan we'll let the future choose us lah.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Kan?
Maybe
Muhasabah diri sikit kan. So some self reflection.
Yeah, really like
Yeah.
that. Okay, thank you.
okay, maybe I can add lagi
Sure,
satu.
sure.
We should not have a negative thinking of us. Which, if let's say we have failure, previously we have failure in certain things, don't mix it as a failure in future. So we have to know what things makes it failure. It should be something that the root cause of it for us to improve. So that is also a learning.
Kena buat
To
job Ling lah
improve
kan.
ourselves.
Maybe I add on, it's like
Ah.
wherever you fall, you pick yourself again from there and move on. I think
Yeah,
that's
move
very
on.
important. So this has been my type of motivation for myself, that my mom always tell me, you fall today, where you fall, you pick up yourself and move on again. So this is what I've been living on this philosophy.
Oh, this is really nice. I really like it. It feels very like a nice not wrap up, but like a nice conclusion to kind of the topics that we've discussed about. Having a positive attitude and knowing that you have to face the reality, and you have to upskill. Know your market. Don't see your failures as failures. See it as a point of inflection to improve. And then make your career your own, because if you don't take charge of your future, then you will, right? The future will take charge of you if you don't take care of yourself, right? And then finally you mentioned about where you fall is where you stand up balik juga.
Don't wait for the change to come. Change yourself for
Yeah.
the future.
Change yourself for the future. I like this. Thank you so much. All right. I guess that kind of that sums up a little bit of our podcast. Let's see if you have questions from the audience. Okay, let's see.
Seems quite a lot.
Okay. Okay, we'll take
Yeah.
this one then. Okay. Many organizations struggle with upskilling and reskilling. What are the key challenges in your department or your team in this matter? somebody like to take that one? What are the key challenges in your department?
I
Terms of
guess,
skilling.
okay, I will take on. Okay, I guess for my team, what I can say is that the struggle of doing the BAU jobs and the time for learning. So, like what we said, I think it's also something to reflect that we need to, like what Sofian mentioned, we need to allocate some time within the team to learn at a weekly or monthly basis, depending. So, new skill can be learned and sharing can be done together as a team. So, as a team, we can learn. It will be more effective in that manner because we can share all our different stories and how we can go on, the learnings and how to apply in the job to make ourselves more productive and to don't go through the same mistake that other person have go through within the team. So I think that learning is very important.
Discussion lah, right?
Discussion.
More on discussion among the team, because sometimes we know that the experience of some people are different from each other. So who is much more experienced maybe can share the knowledge so that everybody can have the same pace.
Maybe just to add to that, I think one of the challenge I would say to me myself it will be awareness.
Awareness?
Because taking into perspective that yes, there are a lot of articles out there, so you can get statistics, you can get many kinds of research. So if you read all those, sometimes you can see that okay, maybe certain jobs are more at high risk and certain jobs are at low risk. So if for audit, it's on the lower risk spectrum, but if you take it at face value, then you think that okay lah, I'm safe. But you have to know that change always have a butterfly effect. There's always a chain reaction. All of those people that are impacted, they will be reskilled, and some of them may be reskilled into your jobs. And suddenly in the future, you will have very big competition in your jobs. So even as an auditor, anyone from IT or operation can be reskilled into auditors. So you kan,
Yeah.
so, tiba-tiba Aswanddy jadi auditor kan. Dah lah dia yang hari-hari buat application tu. Dia jadi auditor, dia boleh audit.
More easy
Lagi
to find
senang
loophole.
lah because dia dah ada knowledge, that knowledge,
Yalah,
right?
hari-hari you yang exploit loophole. You heard of this expression? It takes a thief to catch a thief. Kalau you tak cerita Leonardo DiCaprio tu, what was the name of the story?
Catch me if you can.
Catch me if you
Catch me
can.
if you
Yes.
That's a good one.
Kan? At the end of the day, he became an FBI agent. Right. And even FBI pun datang consult dia. For IT, with one example for IT people is Kevin McNick lah. Hacker became a security consultant. So if you take those kind of example and you apply to your job, so actually you think you are safe, but you are not safe. So how do you ensure that in that future where your job will be very competitive, how do you make sure that you are always at the top? So that's upskilling lah. So when people are reskilled into your job, you need to upskill.
Yep.
I really like this because again it applies to me as well. Okay, I really need to upskill and reskill myself for my future. Alright, thank you so much.
I think I just want to add on top of Sofian. I
Sure,
think
yes, yes.
one more thing is the staff or whoever that upskilling reskilling fear apa takut to fail lah. So if let's say we assign a new role, if what happen if I not capable to deliver it, so that kind of thing is playing into our mind or the staff mind lah. So that one I think we have to handhold or whoever the mentor. We need to have a mentor to guide us for the new role lah. If let's say we assign to do that.
And not a blaming culture, because some of the organisation like to do a blaming culture. It
Blaming
is actually it's not good lah for the staff to enhance their knowledge, their capability, because the knowledge is something new. We need to enhance. There might be a failure, but maybe small failure. That's why a guidance needed.
So then I guess creating that safe space, having that awareness of change, and that your job is not necessarily secure even in the next 2-3 years. And when we want to upskill, we need to create the space for our team to allow them to make mistakes, but also ensure that these mistakes tak boleh ulang lah.
Yeah.
Betul.
Because
Definitely.
susah lah kan kalau every
Kalau
mistake je kan
sekali boleh lah kan.
sekali kita nak hurdle
Yes.
when we're learning, obstacles when we're learning kan.
Yes.
Unless it's at math, I keep feeling at math I somehow can never score a good grade for that one. Moving on. Let's look at other questions. Okay, we have a question from Shafiq Nizam. In your opinion, I think it's the same question. In your opinion, how does an organization's culture impact the success of its upskilling and reskilling initiatives? Talking about culture.
Culture.
Organization's culture.
We'll start first. Okay. The impact we can measure it in several ways. So, one of it is the delivery. What is your outcome after the upscaling, reskilling? I mean, when you assign to the new task, what is the delivery? Is there any improvement or not? For example, if let's say you're doing the process A, previously you take, for example, 10 days. Now, maybe it becomes 5 days. So, if let's say there is a difference between before and after, so that's considered the success impact to them. And then you can see also their behavior also, whether they have a technical and soft skill. Maybe before this he's doing the technical only. After that, after upskill, reskill, so he also learn on the soft skill matter. So we can see the difference between after the upscaling or reskilling.
Okay, so we measure it kind of quantitatively.
Yes.
So a percentage kita dah improve performance-wise. Also behaviorally, we can measure if they have any improvement in soft skills or their technical skills. That's how we measure impact lah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I hope that addresses the question. Thank you so much for asking, Mr. Shafiq. How about another question? Okay, I'll take that question from, let's see, maybe Jason Koo. The question is, that one. The question is, the younger generation is more tech savvy, AI savvy, and highly qualified with professional qualifications with a much lower pay. Okay. Besides upskilling, what sets you guys apart from them? Ooh, controversial question here.
Tough question.
I think I'll take that up. So when you talk about the younger generation, yes, they are tech savvy, so they come with, I would say, higher intelligence. But of course, there's always two sides to it. One, you have the intelligence, and on the other side, for us, experienced and veteran people, we have
Experience.
Yeah, so we have wisdom, right? So you still need both in anything you do. Yes, you may know how to do it, but do you understand the market? Do you understand trends and patterns? And that's where I believe it comes with experience, right? Yes, but it works both ways, because the wisdom that you have may be applicable then. That's why we need to upskill and reskill to catch up with the younger generation. And the younger generation can also learn from our wisdom. So it goes both ways. I mean, it's not a silo. I mean, it's normal. Actually, in IT, it's normal that you have a boss that's younger than you.
I see.
Right? Not a surprising thing sometimes. But does it mean that it must always be that way? Because if you always upskill and reskill yourself, you can follow the trend, you can follow the pace, and you can keep bringing yourself up and make yourself relevant. So at the end of the day, how do you make yourself relevant?
Again, with the theme of learning is a two-way street. Just because I have expertise in XYZ, you may also have experience in ABC that I may not know of. So we need to learn from each other in order to better together. It's not, again, like what you said, it's not a silo thing.
I mean, I can honestly say my team knows more about IT technical things than me. I'm not ashamed of saying that. I mean, what I know is 20 years ago's technology, DWDM. Nobody uses that anymore, probably. Right. So that's why I hired them.
Yes.
Yeah.
because you have these skills that you don't have, right?
Yeah.
And they can support you and support
Right.
the team.
Uh,
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, maybe one more question. Okay, again from Jason. Managing bosses' expectations is one of the required skills in the corporate world. Any advice on that? How do we? Can maybe try to relate that to upskilling and reskilling? Maybe?
We need to learn to tango with the bosses.
Yeah.
That would be the best advice. Yeah. I guess every bosses have their own different type of expectation from the subordinate. So So knowing what is expected and that's how we can actually improve ourselves to deliver what is expected. Not every boss are the same. So there will be a transition when you work under a different bosses, and maybe when the direction change, the expectation also will change. And this is also talking about fast-moving, fast-paced or changing culture that we have. So there is, I would say that, yeah, we need to know what is expected and we deliver what we are expected to do. That's how I can mention.
Know how to dance with your bosses and kind of managing expectations by over-communicating, and just working well with them, essentially. All right. Maybe we have time for maybe 2 more questions. Okay. This question is from Hashun. How can we overcome the challenges that organizations face when it comes to encouraging employees to attend upskilling workshops? Training is often placed very low in the priority list of tasks.
Maybe I take up on this. How to overcome? I think how to overcome, first is you yourself have to be open-minded. Because I know the priority to do the training or to do to continuous learning is low priority based on your daily work. So that's why what Sofian said, you have to allocate, or Foong said, you have to allocate 20%, 20 minutes to 30 minutes on the daily basis to do that, because you also can spend your time on the Instagram, TikTok on the daily basis. So you just sacrifice half of your social time to the e-learning.
I think it's like, don't put it, it's like the organization must do for you, but you must wait for yourself.
Yep.
So if let's say you think that you need to do certain trainings or upskilling or reskilling, you can always engage your supervisor. Tell them this is something that I want to learn. Is there any certification that I can learn, or is there any other avenues? So I guess this is something important. It's not just that the organization must set this is a training you must go. It's you yourself must also find the avenues. Where do I want? I may not need to wait for the company to send me to training. I can get some training certification outside also. So this is quite important, or the change comes from yourself. It's something that we have also quite emphasized during our
conversation.
in our conversation today.
I think one more thing to add on. I mean, you should know where you want to go for the next 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah, your objective, your career plans.
Yep, career plan.
And probably one way to help with that challenge, I mean, if you talk about workshops, those are events that takes 1 or 2 days, 3 days, or even up to 5 days. And that really requires a commitment from you, from your bosses, to release you, because they need to make sure that the job runs in your absence. So again, you have options now to go for online courses that is self-paced. So rather than taking, especially I would say IT training has a lot of options that you can take by yourself over a period probably over 6 months, rather than you take 5 days, it's about 80 hours. So rather than you spend 5 days, 80 hours in one stretch, spread it out over 6 months, 20 minutes every day, you do that course. At the end of the day, you still learn the same thing, and probably at a better pace, because can you imagine, I think you've probably all gone through those kinds of trainings. You go very technical trainings, the trainer packs everything there, trying to learn. But after the training, maybe 20-30% je tinggal dengan you. Kan? Betul tak?
Betul. I think
You balik pun dah overloaded dah.
Dah lupa
Betul
dah
tak lupa?
sometimes.
Itu meluahkan perasaan semua orang. Everyone feels the same here.
But again, but take charge of your own life, take charge of your own learning. Go for self-paced. You know your space. You know when you are free. You know, of course, I think no matter the job, there will always be ups and downs. There are times when you are very busy, but there may be sometimes there's a lull in between. Project based is usually like that. I mean, towards the end of the project, before you kick off the new project, you know there's some gaps there. So if you go for self-paced, it's your time. You are not depending on other people's time. That's one option lah.
Being self-initiated learning. Self-initiated learning, then I guess is kind of one of the strategies probably to overcome the low priority training list. Okay, thank you. I think we have time for one more question. What are some of the important skills you believe employees at any level need to or must acquire in order to best navigate the future?
I would think that soft skill of problem solving and critical thinking is very important. As one of the important skills for us to move forward, no matter which job that we do. Actually, these are very crucial that we make the right decision, and we think of the best. What are the alternatives that we have before we derive to that decision. These are the two skills that I think is very crucial.
I think it would be great if, let's say, you have a technical and soft skills.
Both lah.
Yes.
You have one portion that's technical and one portion that's soft skills.
But the technical need to be very you need to enhance it because technical can get changed over time also because of AI or technology.
I mean, you just focus on the, for example, data visualization, because that thing technical for the data visualization is not too difficult compared to AI. So example.
I think both skill, soft skill and the technical skill will be very important and complement each other.
Yep.
So if you're able to for example, if you're trying to present, you need to have good presentation and communication skills, but with good data visualization skills, which are technical skill, you're able to present your data and your findings in a more succinct, in a more robust way.
How do you solve the complex problem, innovative solution, that kind of thing? You have to put into the soft skill.
So problem solving. In Malay terms, we call it tukang cuci. I'm sure. I mean, you will have seen your colleague or yourself or your bosses ke? The person that they like is always that tukang cuci kan. The ones that really go out very fast. Problem solving. You are there to solve problems.
So they are depending on that person.
Of course. They who we choose? Somebody that knows everything but cannot solve problems, or somebody that doesn't know anything but you give up, you campak aja apa-apa, campak settle.
Mesti layan tu kan.
So now we can really see how important it is, how strong of an emphasis it is, upskilling and reskilling, not only for the future, but for the present as well, actually, in preparation for the future. It improves ourselves personally, improves ourselves professionally, and in order to adapt to change, these are one of the strategies that we can take in order to upskill and reskill. Thank you so much, everyone, who have asked in all really good questions. And with that, we'll wrap up the podcast. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us on this conversation today. Hope to catch everyone in the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.